Tanzania contains a high concentration of the world's most sought-after wildlife tourism assets. Millions travel here specifically to experience the physical scale of Mount Kilimanjaro and its surrounding ecosystems. Within this geography sits the Serengeti, an environment that commands some of the highest daily rates in the global hospitality sector. Securing a booking here has historically required weeks of planning and multiple agency touchpoints. I am Lotaanywaki Elisha Memiri, representing Nabo Advisory. Today, we are mapping the architecture required to capture high-net-worth travelers in the modern digital economy. At 3 a.m. in Tokyo, a user scrolls their feed, sees a Serengeti lodge, and purchases a $10,000 itinerary instantly. The global travel industry is undergoing a structural reset. The traditional multi-touchpoint booking funnel no longer dictates how high-ticket inventory moves. This diagram shows the 2026 digital commerce ecosystem. We are observing the collapse of discovery, consideration, and transaction into a single instantaneous action. To capture global market share, Tanzanian operators must discard legacy web architectures. Maintaining separate inspiration galleries and external booking engines creates a fragmented journey that actively bleeds revenue. Updating that infrastructure depends on integrating native social commerce, nano-influencer content, AI-driven sales, and cross-platform consistency. This briefing explores the transition toward a zero-friction conversion model. Here is the operational map for that shift. Beyond the savannah, the coastal luxury market in Zanzibar illustrates the environment where our first technological shift applies. The primary friction point in legacy e-commerce is context switching. Every time a user clicks away from the content they are enjoying to open a new tab, their intent to purchase degrades. This flowchart maps the multi-step process. A user views a social post, navigates to a link in a profile biography, waits for a landing page to load, and finally enters a separate booking engine. In-app checkout mechanisms bypass that entire sequence. By processing the payment directly within the native social feed, the structural drop-off points are bypassed. When the discovery phase and the checkout phase merge, operators see an immediate statistical lift in conversion and average order value. Average order value is a metric tracking the average total amount spent each time a customer completes a transaction. We see this clearly during live stream shopping events. High-net-worth tourists are booking premium resort stays in real time directly through their video feeds. The integration of native platform shopping carts and saved payment credentials means the user never has to reach for a physical credit card. The final barrier to purchase vanishes. Capturing impulse interest at its peak with zero latency is the baseline requirement for converting high-ticket travel inventory in this environment. The travel industry historically operates on the assumption that selling luxury requires a high-gloss, studio-produced finish. This model of destination marketing relies on meticulously scripted advertisements, featuring international celebrities flown in for a staged production. This data visualization compares the two approaches. On the left, the traditional ad generates massive top-line reach, but engagement rates sit below 1%, driving up the customer acquisition cost. Look at the right side. The alternative is raw, vertical smartphone footage shot directly by a local Tanzanian guide. 2026 data confirms nano-influencers, creators under 10,000 followers, command higher engagement rates, frequently reaching 11.9% engagement.
User-generated content from local guides functions as a peer-to-peer recommendation. UGC refers to any form of content created by individual users rather than corporate brands. This raw format avoids the audience's natural defense mechanisms against corporate advertising. Operators must immediately reallocate advertising budgets away from international celebrity endorsements and invest directly in local Tanzanian micro-influencers. This unpolished, native content builds deep parasocial trust. Viewers feel a direct connection to the guide, which accelerates the purchasing decision for a premium safari. In 2026, narrative authenticity and niche trust generate significantly higher returns than broad corporate reach. Global tourism faces a logistical bottleneck. Human sales teams cannot physically cover every time zone or speak every global language simultaneously. This map illustrates the resulting loss of demand. When a high-net-worth buyer in Asia is awake and researching, the Tanzanian sales force is asleep, causing inquiries to pile up and go cold. The technological solution is the deployment of hyper-realistic AI-powered virtual influencers and intelligent digital avatars. These virtual concierges provide massive operational value, acting as a 24/7, always-on global sales force that never experiences downtime. The avatar can answer specific logistical questions and dynamically translate a complex 10-day Serengeti itinerary into fluent Japanese in real time. The AI then executes the complete social selling package instantly. It secures the booking and captures high-intent demand, otherwise permanently lost to response latency. Augmenting human sales teams with artificial intelligence is no longer an experiment. It is a mandatory infrastructure requirement for maintaining global market penetration. There's a risk in deploying a decentralized content approach. Without rigorous strategic oversight, flooding feeds with raw user-generated content will dilute a luxury brand's equity. This diagram demonstrates how to engineer a unified brand narrative. A single core piece of content must be adapted and distributed across a multi-platform ecosystem. For TikTok, the deployment strategy utilizes fast-paced, raw cuts. This drives top-of-funnel discovery and maximizes the potential for shareable eco-tour moments. On Instagram, the same core narrative shifts to curated stills. This serves the mid-funnel objective, establishing the aspirational positioning required for luxury lodges. Finally, on YouTube, the deployment leverages long-form gear breakdowns and detailed itinerary reviews, providing deep-dive validation. Performance marketing agencies harvest this organic content and deploy it directly within their paid ad accounts to scale that reach globally. Global scaling requires marrying localized authenticity with strict data-driven distribution. The underlying product remains the reality of the Tanzanian landscape. The scale and beauty of the savannah do not change. Tanzanian tourism will thrive by outmaneuvering global competitors through the integration of zero-friction technology and hyper-authentic local storytelling. By combining local content with AI scalability and native social commerce, operators generate measurable gains in market share. I am Lotaanywaki Elisha Memiri, and this concludes the Nabo Advisory briefing on the Destination Matrix. Enterprise tourism leaders must stop relying on legacy funnels. Engage with Nabo Advisory to architect and deploy your customized digital commerce ecosystem today.